Bro, we coming with a part 2 of it. All of this started with the statement that all of us are just 99.9% empty space and that 0.01% is just particles. Which is true, but it's deceiving because of the fact that that 0.01% holds a lot of weight. Why do you think that ionic wind do move wind? Because those ions, those neutrons and protons are able to move things because they are weight. For clarification purposes, they are the bulk of the weight of the atom. And so when you have the bulk of the weight of the atom that moves, you have wind, obviously. Hey, bro, oh my God. Then theoretically, if you move that fast enough, then guess what? You're gonna create gravitational movement. Not from speeds, but just from mass and movement. You feel what I'm saying? Even though I don't believe in gravity, I just gotta admit, that lines up. I can't even disagree with that. Which means that yes, we are empty space, but that doesn't mean that that weight comes from nothing. That 0.01% is our total weight in mass. And we can turn mass into energy via plasma states. You see where I'm going with this? I mean, not really, but kind of, sort of. Putting that aside for another day, at the end of the day, the universe is just trying to tell us that we have a finite amount of particles. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but we can affect the pressure, the density of that pressure, the electric and the magnetic fields to get a specific effect thereof. And bro, once you realize that, oh my freaking God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Fine, I admit it, I was wrong, okay? I was wrong. Gravity is the mass of the particles in movement and how that affects space and time. Okay, I admit it. Fine, I admit it. I didn't want to because of my lack of knowledge, but now I can't deny it at this point. Which still gives me creativity thereof. It doesn't take away from that, but still, dang. To get back to my point, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but you can affect parameters of what's already around you to get a specific effect that's unique to your specific conditions. Meaning if you want to affect the weather, and I'm not saying that you should, heat up a specific part in a town or have a power plant that produces a lot of waste heat and energy, which is how we have global warming. Which, when the entire planet has enough waste heat, will be able to melt all of that ice in Antarctica in the North and South Pole. Meaning, yes, we may live long enough to see what's underneath that ice. Or you can get microscopic with it. Affect pressure differentials in electric states, and you have flowing electricity, baby. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's just about particles and how they interact with the things around them. Because of their total weight and mass, they experience their entire environment differently. And because how they are unique to their own element and their own sub-element thereof. Sub-element in terms of, you know, carbon-248 or something like that. Or how you can combine different elements to form an alloy. You can shape your own reality. We've been shaping our own reality from the jump. And we haven't even realized that. When are y'all gonna realize that this affects this, affects this, affects this, and affects this and this? Your mind and consciousness affects your whole external reality. Whether it's on the metaphysical scale in terms of that rah-rah thing that y'all claim is unreal, or very literal into which our brain waves are able to affect our external reality. When we understand our universe and multiverse, we can build and construct based on what we know is true. That is truth in plainest of day. So again, I say our universe is just nothing more but particles based on what type of particle it is, what type of element it is, being affected by so many different parameters in our universe that's already present and available for it. But depending on that specific element, that specific alloy, or that specific ion, gives a unique response based on what you do to it. Heating up ice does something way different than heating up water. You have one that creates vapor way faster than one that doesn't. Hitting a rock is different than hitting air. One is way denser than the other, despite both being at high states of pressure. And once you realize this, you start to see why scientists are so up in arms about something metaphysical. Because everything already has an explanation that is testable. You can test this out yourself, and you can see that it's true. Which is why I have to say, why is it that some people actually do get divinations from their consciousness? Myself included. Like, why is it that the things that people would claim as imaginary actually come true? That's the answer that I want to ask for myself, because if everything that I've talked about with you is true, and even if it isn't, then there needs to be clarification thereof. Then why is it that I'm experiencing something that shouldn't happen based on what's true, but it's true for me? Why is it that that's true, but science says that it shouldn't be based on what's true? And the answer is, you're both right. And what needs to be seeked out is not specifically who's right and who's wrong, but what conditions have to be set up in order for me to experience this reality by my imagination. Basically, how am I able to see something in my imagination and have it literally happen verbatim in my reality? What conditions have to be met in order for it to be like that? But I will say this, with that being proven, as well as science being proven too, that means that there is another level of physics that we don't know about, or that we know about, but we choose to ignore. And to add another level to this, that shows that our consciousness and our brain is able to affect our world in way more ways than one. We just don't know how yet. But because we know how shamans, myself, and other people of divination, you don't even have to be of a divination person. You could just have been a child just experiencing something like this and you don't even know how. You're normal. Like, best believe you're normal. But just know that there is something that you or I don't know that allows us to experience this. And because of that, that's the level that we have to explore. We already know this type of territory. We know what's happening here. This is unexplored territory that we do not know is happening, but we know it's true over here because of what's happening to us. So once we explore that and get clarity on that, and it somehow meshes with what's in the past, then guess what? Now we can mix these two sciences to get unique experiences as well. Like, bruh, do y'all not realize how God speaks to us through science? God, the universe, Shiva, Ishnu, Buddha, I don't care. Science has always been true at the end of the day. That has always been the number one thing that has been true throughout the entire universe, multiverse, our entire existence as a being, as a whole in general. Your body is science because it's able to break down food via an acid. And yet you want to say that it's fake. Those who say that science or that your experience is fake are those who seek to not even seek it out. Meaning those type of people don't even try to see it. They just accept what is and just go on about their life not knowing that they could do way more. And because of that, you'll have people who know the truth but are being shunned by those who want to close their eyes. And you have those that are eyes opened and are trying to open other people's eyes but they don't want to see. And to those people who are like that, I say, let their eyes be closed. Because if you don't want to see it, you don't have to see it. And I'm not finna force you to see it. But I will keep speaking this truth. Because there are people that want to see it. So whether or not you want to see the truth or not, that's you. But me, I have an obligation not only as a truth speaker, but as a scientist to speak this truth no matter what it is, no matter if it's fake to you. I know it's real for me and everyone else that experienced this same exact phenomena. And I stand on that as a scientist and as a truth speaker. And that is my stance on the freaking universe. That is my foundation. I don't care if the science changed. I don't care if there's a new phenomena. My foundation is rooted in what you can already prove and what's already done and what a person experiences. And when someone experiences something new, that is like, that's weird, that shouldn't be happening, we explore it. It is our obligation as scientists to explore this. I don't care who you are. As long as you have that curiosity to know, it is your obligation to explore this. So don't sit back idly letting people tell you what is and what isn't when you know what you've seen with your eyes. You've seen it with your eyes. Stand in your truth, stand with science, stand with the experience that you know to be true, and seek clarity and truth every single day, because that's what this channel stands for. Is that what I stand for? I stand on truth and nothing but. I don't care about the lies. Lying is pointless for me. I stand with science because science is truth, and that is an embodiment of who I am. I am truth, plain as day, and you can say otherwise, but I am rooted in that. I am truth, and I will continue to speak truth, no matter if you say it is fake. And with that, I'm gonna end off this freaking video. I am a man who speaks truth, that chooses to stand in truth even when he is wrong, and that is who I am. Ashe, peace out, adios. Mwah, mwah.